I think we can get to our next section now, which is gaming. And this topic will be kind of quick. There's not really much to talk about here. But Elden Ring DLC came out.
Yeah, it did.
People are mad.
Oh, I can only guess why.
Big mad. Here, since I brought this one, I will talk about this a little bit, and then we will move on. A lot of people, including people who have played and beaten Elden Ring, are apparently very upset with the difficulty of the Elden Ring DLC.
Okay.
There is a lot of, it's not even just reviewers. There are some reviewers that are giving it bad scores, saying that it shouldn't have been this hard, blah, 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 blah. There are some people who have played Elden Ring before. I don't know if they've cheated or not, or like used like broken stuff or not to get through this, or use like super overpowered stuff. But we've had people go in and they were very upset about the difficulty of the DLC, to the point where it's like a really big thing on Twitter right now, where people are very upset that they paid for a DLC that they quote unquote cannot beat and is quote unquote too difficult.
Oh man, I'm a weigh in on this.
All you, bro.
Okay, so I know half of those people fucking complaining are streamers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
They're trying to speed run everything. They try to speed run everything and try to do, like finish it in a day. So they said, "Oh, I finished it in a day. There's not enough content."
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing about this shit is, oh yeah, the content's there. You got to do the work in order to get to that content, because you got to beat Mog first, which is a hard ass boss. But here's the thing: why were you for this DLC? Why were you expecting to beat it in like a day? These guys have sat there and they have gotten all your data. They got the data for like what builds you're using, what type of, what's the average level of all the players in the game. You streamers that are showing this shit, right? Like, what's your build that you're recommending? Oh, okay, well, they can make stuff that's against that. But it's a DLC. Instead of you assholes enjoying it, you're trying to speed run it on the first day just to say that you're the best. Or it's not even the best, just to say, first.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Like, Elden Ring is not a game of, just in general, for people just like speedrunning. Explore. There's a rich world in this game, and you're not doing that. You just want to power yourself up and just one-shot everything. Well, guess what? They knew you were going to do that. And probably the other thing that's probably fucking you right now is you're probably on New Game Plus when you did all this. So guess what's going to happen when you go to a DLC and you're in like New Game Plus like 5?
Exactly.
The whole DLC got scaled up to that point. So yeah, it's hard. It was probably going to be that hard anyway. I don't know. I just I don't really sympathize with them. You knew what you were getting into when you were playing this game, so figure it out. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly agreed. Like, bro, I think you said it perfectly. I don't even think we have to talk about this anymore. I mean, the people who are complaining are bitches, and they need to not be bitches and actually learn how to play games. That's it.
Learn how to play it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's stuff you haven't figured out yet. You were just trying to use that OP thing you used in the last game. So, come on. Figure it out. There's a whole game for you to figure out now.
See, I am also a bitch, and I will not be doing this until later. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. I don't think we have to talk about that too much. The next thing we have to talk about, Proffitt.
Ooh.
This is all you, bro. We got what season 5 is for Diablo 4.
Yes, sir. And let me tell you, when a lot of when you thought it couldn't get better, it's just getting more and more. They found their cadence. They stopped playing the Diablo 2 players,
Mm-hmm.
and they're finally going to my favorite Diablo, and I'll get shit for it. So fuck you guys. Diablo 3, which is the superior Diablo. I'll just say that right now. Um, well, after I got all its patches, we'll just put it like that.
Yeah, it took a little while.
But still, Diablo 4 is becoming more and more, they're getting all them elements from Diablo 3 that made Diablo 3 great, and it's moving it into the right direction. They're getting a new mode. Well, not move. They're getting more in-game stuff. So they're going to be adding 50 new uniques to the game. There's going to be new sigils. There's going to be new Paragon nodes, new abilities. There's it's an astronomical amount of stuff that's going to be going on in season 5. It's going to be playable next Tuesday. But you're literally the theme of the whole season is you're going back to hell, and it's going to be a kind of like a rogue type mode where you kill you start the so you go to the new place and you go to hell, and then you start these waves. Every time you complete a wave, you get a positive, or you gain a positive, but also gain a negative. So say you gain more damage, but your HP goes down, right? Stuff like that. And the more extreme, I think they're calling them affixes, or I forget what they're. I think they're calling them affixes.
Yeah, I
So
think
the
you're right.
stronger the affix, the at the very end, the better the reward you get, and at the end, you also get a choice of different rewards. You can go for a chest that gives you a guaranteed unique. One that will give you a bunch of legendary to unique items that give you some good affixes that you don't have. Money, crafting materials. You get to pick whatever you want at the end of the thing. So it's just it's gonna further move things along, and the builds are just gonna get more and more insane. Barbarian, like I'm just gonna say this right now. Anytime you do a loot patch or buff loot, the class that is the most gear dependent is always going to be the most powerful.
That's my character. Barb, let's go.
Barbarian is going to be a menace next year, in season 5, and I don't think they're ready for it. And I'll go with my other rule, and I like to tell people, if you ever want an OP character, or you're looking at classes and you want to decide which is the OP class, if there's a knight that has siphon, is the most broken class in the group. It will always be that way. So, just going past season 5, I'm going to talk a little about the Diablo expansion. Guess the 2 things that the expansion class has.
Tell me what.
They're not a knight per se, but damn close to it. And they have siphon. So.
Oh. Oh.
So they can leech stuff from other people and siphon. So I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna call it right now. What, the expansion comes out in October.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, October 8th, I think.
I'm calling it here, June 23rd at 2:38 p.m. The Spiritborn is going to be the most powerful class in Diablo 4, hands down. It has that thing. It has that thing that makes it broken. Siphon. There's no way to. There's no real way to balance that ability, and I've never seen a game do it.
It's either all or nothing, right? Like with Siphon, it's either going to be really good and take too much, or it's going to be really bad and not take enough, right? Like there's no in between.
Well, no. Well, even if it is quote unquote bad, it's still good. It's
Ooh,
just
what do you
not
mean?
as. It's just not broken, right? It's just like it'll be like. It's not even not a broken. It's still broken because what happens is I take from you. You give me all your buffs, or you buff me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I take from you. You buff me. I don't care how many times you decrease it. You're still buffing me on top of my other buffs, and they all stack,
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
right? Like, I've never seen a game get past that hurdle. No game has. Even Blizzard's own games haven't. Death Knights are still the most broken class in that game. And, without getting further into WoW, because I love me some WoW, you have so many instances where Death Knights are soloing raid bosses of the current tier after they get their gear.
Because of Siphon, right?
Because they have Cypher.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is once I buy the DLC, just
Play Spirit.
just don't even bother. Just don't even try to pretend. Just go play that class.
Play that class in Barbarian.
Oh, you already don't play in Barb. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Play that class in Barbarian. If they fixed my fucking Druid, I'd be playing Druid, but I don't want to have I don't want to be farming for Tempest Roar all day just to make 15 builds work.
Yeah.
Which, I can rant about how angry I am at that one tidbit, but yeah, the season 5 patch, it looks very hopeful. I think it's going to be very good, and all the new uniques being added and stuff like that, it's going to be good. Oh, and the other thing too is the Uber uniques now. You can distinguish them when they drop. They're purple.
Ooh.
Versus the what is it, that orangish?
Yeah, the orange like glow that has like a little glow around it that's really small.
The light pink tint.
Yeah, that.
Because orange is the legendary, or legendaries, and then the uniques are like that pink tint that drop. So now, like, if you'll have an Uber unique if a purple one drops. So that's cool too.
It seems like they've been doing a lot with Diablo. Like we've talked about Diablo before, right? Like obviously not here, but
Yeah.
the first 3 seasons definitely were not up to snuff. I don't think we did. Like I think you played more season 3 than I did. I don't even remember really playing season 3.
Season 3 was the Constructs. I didn't play it at all.
Oh, you didn't play it at all? Okay, so we both stopped at season 2 then, and we came back season 4.
Yep.
And season 4 is where it's at. Season 4 is really good. For those who don't know about season 4, it was basically loot based. There wasn't really that much of a story. Really, they didn't try to like shoe in too much. You can really call season 4 like a rework season, where they fix a lot of the problems that they had with loot, with Barb not being strong enough, even though Barb apparently was strong for every other season except for season 2, which is the one I really played. Neither here nor there, whatever. But they fixed a lot in season 4, and now it seems like they're going to expand on that in season 5, which is necessary before we get into the expansion.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I think that was the one thing that they highlighted on this, and they even talked about it and admitted it. Like the thing I said earlier was season 1 and 2, they were trying to cater to Diablo 2 guys. But they had that mixture of the Diablo 2 guys and the Diablo 3 guys, right? And people came over from both. But Diablo 2 guys, they don't like nothing. They're WWE fans. They don't like anything but Diablo 2.
They have resurrection. They can just go sit on their porch over there and do their own thing over there.
That's what they're doing right now. They literally just got up and left, right? And they're like, "Oh, this isn't Diablo 2. I'm leaving." So they left us with the, it kind of. They were still going with that assumption. Oh, we wanted more like Diablo 2. When it was only all the Diablo 3 guys left, they're like, why can't I get a unique? Why can't I, this, that, and the other? So season 4 plays into that and like really reinforces. Okay, yeah, this is, you can actually get stuff now. We have some in-game stuff. The Hell Tides were reworked. There's a lot of fantastic stuff. So like anybody listening that quit like season 1, season 2, I'd say now's a great time to come back to the game. Even if you go to the Eternal Realm, which also has everything but the Iron Wolf storyline,
Which
so
is whatever, honestly.
I would implore you guys, get in there, check it out. Even with your old character, it doesn't matter. You'll be surprised. And the biggest part of this season's rework is the book, where you keep all of your affixes.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I got like the highest level shockwave, I don't have to worry about disenchanting it if it's on a shit item, because I'll keep that shockwave forever and I can put it on other things.
And enchanting's a little bit cheaper now. So you can really go in and just do whatever you want. As long as you have gotten a drop before, or you've gone to farm it, you can just get that. So you can make whatever build you want now for your character. And it's a lot easier than it was back in season 1.
Oh yeah, and I didn't even talk about tempering.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about tempering. That was like the main part of season 4.
Yeah, the main part of season 4 is the like tempering. So tempering is what is making everything possible. You can put stuff on your weapons and armor and things like that, like extras. Like, say, like right now for my rogue, I'm doing the Heartseeker build, so I have to put stuff that there's like one that's like, when you attack somebody, the lucky hits have a chance to daze or stun or freeze them. Well, you can put that on everything now. Well, almost everything. I won't say everything. So when you do lucky hit, that effect is going to happen. Like Barbarian, you can make bashes cleave.
Mm-hmm.
So you're hitting like 4 or 5 guys at once. And also have the bash do more damage. So it's like all of it together collectively is just great.
The build that I'm running right now for Diablo is a Berserker Whirlwind build, right? So basically it's spin to win. And what I have is on basically almost all of my armor pieces that are allowed to have it, like my ring, all of my weapons have a Berserker damage, like extra damage. So I think I'm sitting right now with like 450% extra damage whenever I berserk. And I just wreck everything. I'm not even using like the meta shit, and I can still wreck everything.
Oh man, like I'm just gonna say this. So Heartseeker Rogue, right? I finally hit 100 like yesterday.
Nice.
But before I even hit 100, I was like level 86, 87. I could do Nightmare Dungeon tier 90, which is like guys that are like level 150 and above. And I was like level like 80 something.
Knocking them out.
Just annihilating everything. And it was the most ridiculous thing because, yeah, sure, if they have more HP than you, cool. It's not like they're ever going to touch you.
No,
the lucky hits go off, they get dazed, and then there's a talent that knocks them down when they get dazed. So you're constantly seeing them get up, fall on the floor, get up, fall on the floor, and then until they die. And if it's a boss, all you see is the stun meter go up. They're just stunned, and they can't do anything about it. So it's like the build diversity now is really good.
It's Diablo 4 right now is in a really good place. We still got a little bit more time in the season. If anyone, like Proffitt said, if you have played before, if you haven't played, and if you have Game Pass, Diablo 4 is on Game Pass, and you don't have to pay extra for these seasons. Like, you just get them. The expansion, when that comes out, obviously you got to pay extra for that. But if you want to try Diablo 4, right now is the best time to do it. And if you don't want to pay, and you have Game Pass, just do it.
Yep. But I'll add this also. Diablo 4 is also on sale every 2 weeks.
God, it is. I actually need to buy it.
So
again,
like, what are you doing? I'm not gonna lie. I bought it on Xbox, but I gave my Xbox to my wife, my Series X. I had a copy on PS5, and one day they were offering like some like massive bonus for for trading in games. So I traded it in, and I got more than what I paid for it. The physical version. And about, I think a month ago, I went back to the GameStop, and it was like $15.
Oh,
So
damn.
And it was my copy that I traded in.
You just bought your copy back?
I just bought my copy back for like $15. So go to GameStop. I know people hate them. Don't hate GameStop. Just go to GameStop and say no to everything and buy your game and then leave.
Exactly. Like right now, it is if you want to play on Steam, $50, which it was a $7 game. That's still a little bit off. You can definitely wait for a sale. We're getting a sale pretty soon, I'm pretty sure, on Steam. But just give it a try, especially if you like ARPGs, things like that. It's fun now.
Yeah, and if you don't mind physical, you can go to GameStop, buy it for $40, or if it's used, it's $27.
Exactly. It's a win-win. Definitely try it now. I know people have been saying like really bad things about Diablo, but give it a shot. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game. But you know what? That's going to lead us to something else.
Oh no, we're about to do it.
Oh yeah, we're doing this. So we're going to talk about the next game here, Destiny 2.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna put the floor, give you the floor, man. Tell us how good Destiny 2 is now.
You know what? I'm gonna start with a backstory. I don't even think I told you about this before.
Oh no.
I have played Destiny literally since I couldn't get in the alpha, but I got into the beta. So I've been playing Destiny damn near for 11 years. I played Destiny 1 religiously. Like, even during the bad times of Destiny 1, and I know people don't like to talk about the bad times of Destiny 1, they were there.
Oh yeah.
Played every day. Every single day. We go to Destiny 2. Buy it day one. Obviously, I'm very excited. I paid a lot of money for Destiny 2 day one. Oh god, I paid too much money for Destiny 2 day one. I didn't use any of that content. Anyway,
Oh shit.
I ended up stopping, like a lot of people did, during Red War, which is the very beginning of Destiny 2. I've gone back here and there. I've always had like the Destiny itch. I would never get rid of it. That would never be a thing I can never get rid of. For sure, not now. I've always stopped. If for one reason or another, Bungie did something stupid. The DLC wasn't great. There's too much going on. Blah 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 blah. I think Destiny 2 finally found their stride with this, and of course, this is the last DLC of the mainline story, which is another reason why I kind of got back into it. But the game has changed so much. Like, for people who have not played since the very beginning, I'm not going to touch on everything because they changed a lot, but the game is completely different. Like, for example, mods. You know how we had to grind for mods and you had to get them from other weapons, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Don't have to do that anymore. You level up,
Oh no.
and as you level, you get mods, and you have your set of mods full. So I think you hit like level 5 or whatever, and you get all of them. Don't have to worry about it. So you can make whatever build you want. Now build crafting is a thing, speaking of which, because they have a new subclass system that came out last year, I think, where you can actually mix and match. You can actually like min-max things where your exotics matter now because you can make builds via based on exotics. Not as crazy as Diablo, right? Like you're not gonna Diablo build craft, but there is a lot of different builds. Like you can play a Titan 87 different ways. Offensive, defensive, hybrid, anything, you can do that. What else? I don't even know how else I want to talk about this. I'm just saying the game has changed drastically. And I know you're seeing Final Shape stuff. That's stuff you have to pay for. That's part of the problem with Destiny right now. There's so much that you have to buy, quote unquote, to get back into it, which they fixed also. Now they have a little bundle now where it's like $40, get every DLC except for the latest one. You don't have to worry about it. You're good.
So it's a catch up.
Yeah.
Catch up. Okay.
And you don't even have to do that right now. Like if people want to try Destiny is free, and they have actually surprisingly a lot of content you can try for free. Just to get back into it. You can level, you can do everything that you want. Obviously, you're not going to get like new subclasses and stuff like that, right? Because you don't have DLCs. But you can play a lot of content. Like I think what you get free right now is you get the first mission of this season, which, you know, the season's whatever, honestly, I'm not going to lie. Like it's fun, but not anything crazy. I don't even know where to go. Where else to go with this, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, how about this? I'll ask you a few questions.
Go for it.
Okay, so out of this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly? Like, what's the thing that got you like, okay, this is what I want. You know, this is the Destiny I wanted to play.
The main thing right away was build crafting.
Okay.
You can min-max things. If you have like I was saying earlier, you can build based on exotics, right? So the build that I'm running right now on my Titan is a void. How would I explain this? Because it's not really like a thing that's seen. Like basically, my melee will suppress people, and whenever I suppress them, people explode. And with my exotic, you'll get double explosions basically. So you can basically wipe out a room like you could in Diablo, just by proccing it.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of builds like that. Like they have a lot of different types of builds. Like I've seen a lot of different builds, even on like hunters. You can make a melee hunter build if you really wanted to.
Don't tell me that.
You could.
Don't tell me that.
Like it's like the build crafting that they do right now is honestly impressive. Like I wish they would have done this before.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have it now, and you have 6 subclasses that you can rock with, because you have fire, ice, and void, right? And now you also have an ice subclass. You have basically a Spider-Man subclass in Strand, and we have the new one that they just did, which is called Prismatic, which is basically a mashup of everything. Like that's the one that we're kind of seeing on the video right now. We'll leave the video up so people can actually kind of see that. There's a lot going on in the game right now.
So, like, okay, to access some of the stuff, do I have to pay? Like, I guess that's my question. Like to access a lot of this new stuff. Is that just included in the game, or is it like expansion locked?
So a lot of this is actually based on subclasses. So the 3 subclasses that are free, right, which are Void, Solar, and Arc. Those are free, so you can still make your builds. You can still build craft and do things like that. There's going to be like some exotics that are locked behind expansions. Not all of them, but you can get a taste of what you're doing for free.
Okay.
Like you're not going to be able to make like the ice one I was talking about. You can't do that because that's locked behind a DLC, right?
Right.
But you have the main 3, and you can still have an idea of what you're getting into for free.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I downloaded it, so when the last time you mentioned it, so I'm excited to try it again because we got to max level that time, and then we started the raid, and then it's kind of where it fell off.
Yeah, that's really what it was. Once we tried to go in the raid, that first raid, it was over, right? Like no one really touched the game again at that point. But now there's a lot more stuff to do. Like now you can get max level without having to do raid stuff. Like I'm telling you, they've changed so much that I haven't even scratched the surface on yet. That if you want to just try it, you should try it. People should try it. It's obviously not for everybody, right? Because it's still Bungie. They still do some scummy things. Like a lot of things aren't great. I'm not gonna say that Destiny is a perfect game because it's not. It's never been a perfect game. But right now is, I think, the best Destiny has ever been. So if you've missed like playing Destiny, now's a good time to at least try it to see if you haven't grown out of playing Destiny anymore. You know?
Yeah, like for me, like I think like for me, what the raid wasn't what made me stop playing Destiny. I think the thing that made me stop was like compared to Destiny 1, right? Mm-hmm. Destiny 1, I can log on, I can do some stuff, I can, it's kind of like, you have like 30 minutes and you have a goal, right? Mm-hmm. Destiny 1, I can do that. I can jump in, do something for 30 minutes, farm this thing, get some dailies done. And, if I happen to have more time, then yeah, great, I can do more shit, right? Mm-hmm. Destiny 2 at the start did not have that. Once you got to like a point of like being able to jump into a raid, all that kind of stops. Like you might have had like a daily or an instance that you could do, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't as in like I'll say it wasn't as engaging as part 1 on that front.
It really wasn't, and I personally think they have done a better job about that now because you can get max level without doing the raid now. So by default, you have to have more stuff to do, right? Like if you're not going to go in the raid, if you have people who aren't going to be the top 1% in raid, but still want to get max level, still want to play like at least a couple times a week, you need things to do. Now they have that. I don't know how much of it is free. That's part of the problem too. I don't know how much of it is free, but there are like more different patrols. They have other missions that you can do that aren't just strikes that will get you higher powered gear.
Okay.
But yeah, the main problem right now with Destiny is trying to get back into it because you don't really know what to do, right? Like who realistically wants to pay even $40 for a bunch of stuff, right? Now you can get all the DLCs, but the current one for a flat fee. But that wasn't a thing before until a week ago.
Right.
So that's like that's the hardest part about getting people back into it who were playing before. And I'm not saying that people need to get back into it. I'm not trying to do that. But right now, I think Destiny is in a better place than it was before. There's a lot to do, and you don't have to know life it like people did in Destiny 1. You can play 1 or 2 times a week, and you can still be caught up, and you're good. And there's always content to actually play now.
Right.
It's a win.
Man, you forgot what platform you're on. No, fuck all that. People, get your asses into Destiny. Get in there. Play it. Try it out. It's fucking free. Get your ass.
give it a shot. Like the worst thing that happens is you say you don't want to play it and then you stop, right? But then you didn't invest any money anymore. You're good. And if you want to invest money to actually play more content, it's a lot easier now. You're not paying $300 to try to get all the DLC and stuff like that. Flat fee. You can play everything. You play this season, this expansion, which is Final Shape, which is probably honestly the best expansion that Destiny has ever done, personally, in my opinion. But you can do that. Just give it a shot. Try it.
You heard, man. Give it a shot. If I had a camera, I'd be staring right at it right now. Give it a shot.
I always have a hard time talking about Destiny because of how it's burned people, you know? Like, I know, because it burned me too. Like, so it's really hard for me, even right now, to give it the praise that it should get right now. Because I know there were a lot of people who actually suffered through the last couple years also. Because Destiny also was not great even 6 months ago. They were still having problems.
Right.
Have they fixed all those problems? Yes. Do they still have a lot of problems? Yes. But right now, I think Destiny is in the best state that it has honestly ever been in. There's so much to do. You still get that old feeling. Plus, if you're invested in the story, you probably should just play Final Shape so you can see the end of the story. Because the story that we've following since Destiny 1 is now over. It's done. Like, we saw the actual ending of it. Might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot, guys. Like, it's, I have no problem popping back into games, right? Like, even if one, like, especially MMOs, because it's like, shit can change in a season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get 5 seasons of garbage, and then all of a sudden, they figure it out. And it becomes, something great, something good. Right? Like, there's... Yeah, and I think it's fun doing that. It's fun seeing that. Now, there's some that just crash and burn.
Oh, for sure.
It's fun to see, like, when a company's like, all right, this ain't working. Oh, we found it. We found it. We got it. Now we can build on it and move the game forward and make it the game it should be.
And Destiny has for sure found that it. They have it now.
Yeah. That's great.
But that's it, bro. That's our gaming section. That's it. We're done with gaming.
Oh, wait. We're not done with gaming.
Oh, snap. Oh.
We're not done. Oh, who said we were done?
Oh, I'm ready. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I'm ready. Hit me.
I'm going to hit you with a story.
Oh, that's right. Proffitt story time. Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's story time with Jeff Proffitt, baby. So, as you guys know, I go to retro game stores and, I go to game stores all the time and just go, game hunting and buy stuff. And the other day, I went to one of my favorites here in Las Vegas. It's called Retro City Games. And I was going looking for some NES games. So I was in the store, I was looking around. And I was looking at the NES stuff. And then I found a game. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And, I was continuing to look. And these 2 guys and a kid, pop in. And one of the guys, he had like a Nintendo 64 with him. And, all you hear, like, because, it's pretty quiet. People minding their own business and shit. All you hear is, hey, man, do you got a cable for this that'll work? And the guy's like, oh, yeah, we got the N64 stuff over there. And he showed him where the cables were. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't think people could get down on this N64. It's old school,
No.
Here I am with the fucking NES game in my hand. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, no.
So I paid him no attention, right? So he left his shit up in the front. And he had an EverDrive. And for people that don't know what an EverDrive is, it's like $300, but it's a cartridge that can hold up to like 1,000 games.
Damn.
And you put them all on a SD card. So you get all the Nintendo 64 ROMs, or they got one for every system, but he had the N64 one. He's like, hey man, hey cuzzo, look over there and just make sure nobody takes that because that's expensive. I'm like, oh, okay, why would you just leave your shit there? But whatever. Um, so yeah, he had an EverDrive, sitting there with all of his games loaded on it. So he finally comes back in. He gets he's at the front talking to the main guy. He has a cable, and his friend pops up and is looking over my shoulder at the game I got. It's some random ass game. It's called Dino Wars for the NES, but where you're riding in a like a dinosaur. And then you jump out of the mech and then you like shoot people. It's it's old school 8-bit game. He's like, yeah. And the guy looks at me. He's like, "Oh, hey, what you got there?" And I showed him. He's like, "Oh yeah, the kid's like this little one right here. He don't know anything about that. All he's seen is CDs and DVDs." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He's only like 5. He's like, "Yeah, man. You ever heard of the EverDrive?" I'm like, "Yeah, you load up a lot of games on it, and you can play stuff." He's like, "Now here's where you're gonna hear the weirdest flex ever."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, man, have you ever played Mario Tennis? I was like, for the N64? He's like, yeah, man, I'm undefeated in Mario Tennis. I'm like, yeah, I played it before. He's like, yeah, I bet you I'll beat your ass in that game. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you probably would. And then he proceeds to yell out in the whole store, hey, anybody in the store that wants to go against me in Mario Tennis, I'll beat all your asses. I'm undefeated. I'm like, what?
Oh my
That is the
god.
weirdest fucking flex I've ever heard. Just randomly. This is just a random time of me going to a store.
Oh my god.
So yes, he shouted out everybody in the store to play him in some Mario Tennis 64. And that he is the best in the world. But little did this guy know, if he would have turned it up to the Switch, Mario Tennis on the Switch, he's looking at the former champion of Mario Tennis Switch in a small office. I could say I'm undefeated because, I got sand in my eye that day that I lost.
Oh yeah, no, that didn't count.
Yeah, that didn't count. I retired undefeated. But yeah, no, man, like, just like, that was a crazy, random thing that happened to me while I was game hunting.
Bro, how did you going to Retro City Games result in someone trying to G check you in Mario Tennis N64?
I don't know. Shit like this happens to me all the time.
Oh my god. See, they don't know you can bench buildings. That's why they do that to you.
No. It's I don't know, man. Like, it was hilarious. I'll just say that. The shit was hilarious.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But all right, here's the kicker to the whole thing. How the fuck are you gonna challenge people to a game of Mario Tennis and you don't got a goddamn controller?
You know what? That's a good point.
Okay, they were buying controllers because they didn't have any.
Also, he was definitely not champion of the universe in Mario Tennis 64 if he's buying controllers.
He's buying a controller because they didn't have a fucking controller. All they had was a console, an EverDrive, and no cable to hook it up with, and no controllers.
So he's
Just saying, if I would have challenged him, I probably would have won. Your Mario Tennis Switch world heavyweight champion of the world, would have won.
So he's definitely like those people who say that they're really good at Marvel 2, but have only played like 2 people and have never actually gone out to experience how people who have played Marvel 2 for like a year have played even back then.
Oof. They're gonna be hurt.
Oh God.
Marvel 2 will hurt your feelings.
God, yeah, it will. So will Mario Tennis. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. Man, if I had my controller, I would challenge his ass.
See, that would have made the situation a lot worse because you would have beat him and then some shit would have popped off.
Nah, man, he would have fucking turned the game off. That's the type of guy he is. I could tell. You're undefeated because you turned the game off when you're about to lose.
Oh, or he like unplugs your controller.
Yeah.
Mario champion from 20 years ago. All right.
Yeah. The guy wasn't like, I'm 41, so the guy was trying to sound like he was like my age or older, and I'm like, dude, you're younger than me. You're in your 20s.
Wait, okay.
Talking about N64. Get out of here.
Okay, that's a part that we really need to talk about really quick.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's in his 20s talking about how he's the champion of Mario 64. Who was he playing against his parents? That really doesn't count now, for sure.
I think he was probably playing against his cousin, and his cousin sucks at it. So he's the champ.
Man, listen, I'm undefeated at Marvel 2 in my house also. But I'm also the only person that plays Marvel 2 in my house.
Yeah, man. There's some of the hilarious shit that goes on just randomly when I'm game hunting.
Proffitt's prophecies. That's what we're gonna call this. We'll think of another name, something. All right.